Welcome back, everyone, to CWRU today, and welcome to our highlight segment of the night.
We have three very important guests with us now, ready to review the causes and effects that stress can have on us in our lives and how we can better manage it.
Introducing our first guest, here is Joshua.
Thanks for having me on. I'm excited to be here.
Now, as we were chatting before, you seem to work mostly around acute stress and its many variables. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Certainly. So, acute stress is basically caused by demands and pressures we can anticipate in the near future. Acute stress is typically not associated with negative health implications because, as defined, it's fairly short term. Common examples could be getting shots at the doctor. Is this gonna hurt? Probably a lot. Realizing you have a big deadline that creeped up on you. Or even choosing what to eat. It's important to note that too much acute stress can be fatiguing and exhausting, but sometimes in reasonable doses, you may find yourself at an advantage going in, as acute stress can provide a thrilling and exciting experience with increased levels of adrenaline and stimuli, sort of like riding your bike for the first time.
And how would you recommend to manage your acute stress?
Technique that I'd recommend for acute stress is to practice breathing and relaxation techniques. Helps you plant you in the present and can possibly help you realize that what you're worrying about isn't really going to derail you in the long run.
Thanks for your time, Josh. Up next, we have Andrew, and he's going to talk to us about episodic acute stress.
Hi guys, so episodic acute stress is essentially a consistent reoccurrence of acute stress. This can often be found with certain personality types. Individuals who tend to overthink things or often worry about upcoming events or deadlines. Unlike acute stress, episodic acute stress is associated with negative health implications. These implications can include high blood pressure, migraines, or hypertension. Possibly the largest issue with episodic acute stress is that these individuals are often resistant to change. It's really hard to see issues with your current lifestyle behaviors, and it's difficult to change being an overthinker or a worrier. Managing an episodic acute stress can go as far as having to leave your job or making a drastic lifestyle change.
Thanks, Andrew. Finally, we have Harper here to talk about chronic stress.
Thanks for having me. So chronic stress is stress that endures over a long period of time. This kind of stress is usually caused by stressful experiences like living in poverty, constantly facing discrimination, or experiencing some kind of traumatic event. This kind of stress is also more common in people with certain personality traits, like people who need to be in control all the time or set unrealistic expectations for themselves. So people who deal with this kind of stress often feel like it's become a normal part of their lives and they can't really do anything to change it. This kind of stress is the most heavily associated with negative health consequences. It's linked to increased risk of cancer, cardiovascular diseases, and even suicide. So to manage chronic stress, people should first try to stay away from things that they know trigger their chronic stress. And one thing I would recommend is physical exercise. So this releases endorphins, which make you happier. And also if you're exercising, it can take your mind off of things, especially if you're exercising with a friend. And then if these things don't work, you should definitely consider seeking professional help. There are therapies and medicines available to manage symptoms.
Thanks, Harper, and thanks to everyone for those tips on how to deal with different types of stress.
That's all for tonight, folks. Have a happy, stress-free evening and tune in tomorrow to hear our strategies on acing your finals.
Dude, I'm 27 seconds short on my project. I'm so stressed out right now. I was watching Crew today, earlier today. They told me that, you could try breathing techniques. Might help you alleviate that stress. Good idea.